Well, students, good evening to all of you. So today we are going to discuss another topic of B.Ed, which is called theory of learning. It is again the paper 3 topic, right? What is the name of a paper 3? Learning and teaching, right? So you can see the syllabus. This is the syllabus of learning and teachings. Okay, you can off your window, you can off your audio and video, right, guys? I have started the lecture. So you can see this syllabus, learning and teaching, right? So this is a unit 3, right? Theories of learning. Okay, guys. So you can see the syllabus. Later on, we will see the syllabus, right? So in the unit 2, we have the 4 theories. One is called trial and error theory. Okay. Then is conditioning theory. Okay. Second and third is operant conditioning theory. And fourth is self social constructivist theory. Vygotsky and Bandura की है, right? Social constructivist theory. Vygotsky and Bandura. So out of a 4 theory, today we are going to discuss the 2 theories. Okay. So we will discuss today trial and error theory and second is classical conditioning theory. Okay. So guys, you can put off your video also. Father Anthony, you can off the video if you don't have problem. Yes, नीचे options होगा, you can off it, right? There is a options at the bottom. Father, you can see that one is audio and one is video. You have to click on the video. Thank you so much, Father. So guys, these are the important questions which you have to remember. And these 2 theories always comes in the exam, right? Trial and error theory and classical conditioning theory. Okay. So first of all, I just want to discuss a little bit about the learning. What is learning? Everybody, you know that because in the previous lecture we have done it. Yeah, right? Learning is said to be equivalent to change, modification, development, improvement, and adjustment. Learning is a lifelong process, right? Learning starts when the child is born and it continues up to his death. Okay, so learning is a lifelong process. As the Gates has said that learning is a modification of behavior through experience and training. Right, guys? So now we discuss the 2 theories of learning. The first theory, the name is trial and error theory of learning, which was given by the Thorndike, E.L. Thorndike, Edward Lee Thorndike. This theory is given by the was given by the Thorndike in 1898. And second theory, this is called the classical conditioning theory. It was given by the Ivan Pavlov in 1920. Okay. So this is the second. So, first, we will discuss the trial and error theory. And after that, we will discuss the classical conditioning theory. Okay. So I'm going to start with the trial and error theory of learning. So guys, trial and error theory of learning, first of all, it was given by the American psychologist named E.L. Thorndike, Edward Lee Thorndike in 1898. This theory is also called the pleasure and pain theory, pleasure pain theory, stimulus response theory, bond theory of learning. These are the name you have to remember. Okay. Right. So third is, according to the Thorndike, learning takes place. I'm searching one options. Okay. You can learn, third point. Okay. You can learn third point. I'm searching one option. Give me a second. Okay. I got it. Yes. So this theory is known as a pleasure and pain theory, right? Stimulus response theory and bond theory of a learning. Okay. One third point. Okay. Just look at this. According to the Thorndike, learning takes place through trial and error method. He conducted many experiments on rats, cats, and fish and concluded that we learn each and everything by making mistakes and errors. ओके, सो ये देखिए मेकिंग मिस्टेक्स एंड एरर्स, मैंने इसको बोल्ड किया हुआ है, right guys? So first guys here, the important point, look at me and understand why we want to learn it, because we are going to become a teacher, right? And whatever we have to teach, whether the student have adopted it, have grasped it or not, we should know that. If we do not know the theory of learning, the learning pattern of the mind, how the mind receives the information, okay, so we cannot become a good teacher. Always remember, okay, teaching is not everybody's cup of tea. For becoming a good teacher, you have to go through all the process of a teaching methodology. This is the reason theory of a learning is in your syllabus. Right? One theory is given by the Thorndike, second theory is given by the Pavlov. You should know that the different styles, different levels, different patterns of a learning. Okay. This is the reason most of the teacher do mistakes. They are very good in their subject, but they cannot claim that they are a good teacher because they don't know the theory of a learning, how the learning takes place. Okay. So that's why, you are the B.Ed trainees and I'm your trainer, basically. Correct. So I'm giving you training. You have to keep in your mind different pattern of a learning, because in a class, every student is a unique. If there is a class of a 40 student, 50 student, सभी का mental level अलग है. Every student have the unique level. Every student have the different attitude, aptitude, knowledge, intelligence, personality, right? Learning pattern. They all are different. They all are different. Even guys, twins are not unique. एक ही माँ के पेट से दो बच्चे पैदा हुए हैं, उन दोनों के भी लेवल अलग होंगे, राइट? ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट लेवल, इंटेलिजेंस लेवल, साइकोलॉजी लेवल, एटीट्यूड, एप्टीट्यूड, every level. So every student is a unique, unless you have knowledge of different kind of learning, how the learning takes place, only then you can become a good teacher. So from this theory, Thorndike has given us trial and error theory of learning. So according to the Thorndike, we learn by making mistakes and errors. Okay. So again, Thorndike says that when we, let me take uh, different, okay, right. So when we begin to learn, according to the Thorndike, when we begin to learn anything, there may be many errors, but the number of trials goes on increasing, the errors go on decreasing. Okay, remember guys, how you have learned the bicycle, motorcycle. Okay, when you start learning the cycle, many times you fall down, है ना? Again you started, you will do lot of mistakes. The same way the student will do lot of mistakes. Okay, when the trials goes on increasing, the error go on decreasing. Thus we learn by we learn from mistakes and errors or experiences, okay, as said by the Thorndike, right guys? So this is the theory of the Thorndike. Okay. So what the Thorndike has said, we learn by making mistakes. Okay. We learn by trial and error. Okay. The more trial we will do that. Okay. When the trial go on increasing, then error go on decreasing. Ultimate, what will happen? We will become trained. Means child will become trained to learn. Right, guys? Next is clear, all right. Next is principles and assumptions of, this is the most important assumption and principles of trial and error, right? Number one is trial and learning involves trial and error, selections and connections. इसको याद रखना, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Learning is a result of a formations of connection. Learning is a incremental, not insightful. ये याद रखना बस. ये देखो, ये डिफरेंट पॉइंट आ गया, राइट? क्या आ गया? लर्निंग इज ए इंक्रीमेंटल, नॉट इंसाइटफुल. ये किसने बोला है? इट वॉज सेड बाय द थॉर्नडाइक. इट इज लर्निंग इंसाइटफुल नहीं होती है, ये थॉर्नडाइक ने कहा है, बट यू डोंट हैव टू थिंक कि, because being teacher, you should know every kind of a learning. When you will learn another theory, Ivan Pavlov theory, right? They talk about the conditioning. Another theory, they talk about different thing. Okay, so this is according to the Thorndike. Learning is a incremental, not insightful. Learning is a direct, not mediated by ideas. Learning requires both practice and rewards. A series of SR connections. Always remember SR, stimulus response, right? Basically they all are the behaviorist. Okay, they think that we have to give the stimulus to the organism and we get the response. Okay, we have to give the stimulate to the child, we will get the response. A series of SR connections can be chained together if they belong to the same action sequence. Transfer of a learning occurs because of a previously encountered situations. Intelligence is a function of number of a connections learned. Okay. Now, guys, this what we have to learn under this theory of learning. ये देखो, ये full fledged questions आता है total ये, right? It is a full fledged questions of a 16 marks. Okay. Define trial and error theory of a learning. When this question comes, so guys, first of all, you have to talk about trial and error theory. Then you have to talk about experiment by the Thorndike. Then three laws of learning. Then educational implications. Okay. So we have come to know till about the this theory of learning, trial and error theory of a learning, which is also called the pain and pleasure theory of a learning, bond theory of a learning, right? So learning takes place by making mistakes and errors by the Thorndike, right? Now we will discuss the first experiment on cat. Then we will talk about three laws of learning, law of readiness, exercise and effect. In last, educational implication is most important. Okay. And in detail, you have to write educational implications, right? So then in the next slide, we start with the experiment of Thorndike, right? So guys, just see the experiment, okay, given by the Thorndike. Okay, just see this picture. Even the video I have already shared with you, okay, one day back, right, guys? So ये देखिए जरा, आप टोटल इसको समझो, अंडरस्टैंड करो. Basically, what the Thorndike did, Thorndike designed a one puzzle box. This is the puzzle box, okay? This is the puzzle box, and see all the things. मतलब it is designed in such a way. ये देखिए, ये this is called the latch. This thing. This is called latch or lever. Okay. And ये देखो, outside is the door. This is the door. ये देखिए, this is the trap door. So, the puzzle box is designed in such a way, when, Thorndike kept the cat into the cage. जब थॉर्नडाइक ने कैट को केज के अंदर डाला, ये पजल बॉक्स के अंदर डाला, तो व्हाट इज द वे टू कम आउट? ओनली प्रेसिंग द लीवर. दिस इज कॉल्ड द लीवर स्ट्रिंग. यू कैन सी दैट. ये देखिए, पुल स्ट्रिंग दैट ओपन्स द ट्रैप डोर. Okay, so what the Thorndike did, that Thorndike designed a one puzzle box. Okay, and he kept a one cat into the puzzle box, right? बिल्ली को puzzle box के अंदर डाला गया. Cat was hungry from last 7 to 8 hours, and after 7 to 8 hours, okay, the cat was in the cage, in the puzzle box. Okay, cat was just moving. Cat was not doing any, different actions. Okay, but what happened when, ये देखिए, magic happens here. This is the magic. When Thorndike kept a fish near the cage, near the puzzle box. ये देखो, food. When the Thorndike kept a fish near the puzzle box, so what happened? Here the magic happened. क्या हुआ? What happened? The smell of the fish worked as a strong motivation for the cat to come out of the cage. Okay, this is the magic, guys. From this experiment, you have to learn how you have to motivate the students. If there is a no motivation, there is a no preparation, there is a no curiosity. That means there is a no learning. Okay, we will learn it. Okay, first, learn the experiment. The cat was already hungry, Hana, from last 6 to 7 hours in the cage. Okay, when, fish was placed near the puzzle box, then the cat started. Either go in the next slide. Okay, you will see that, different actions done by the cat. Cat started scratching the bars. ये देखिए, scratching the bars, push at the ceiling, dig at door, hole, right? And striking her head into the into the wall. So these are all things cat started because the cat was already hungry. Okay, and the smell of the fish. Thus, ये देखिए last slide में, the smell of the fish worked as a strong motivation for the cat to come out of the cage. When the cat started doing these all the things, scratching the bar, pushing at the ceiling, dig at the door, है ना? She start because cat was hungry. Okay, and smell of the fish worked as a strong motivation, inspiration to come out of the cage. So ultimately, what happened? Accidentally, cat pressed the lever. ये देखिए, this lever. Okay, the paw of the cat pressed the lever. तो what happened? ये देखिए, cat came out of the cage and got the reward. ये देखिए, ये नंबर फर्स्ट है. Okay, look at the cursor. अब now you will understand that. Okay, ये है आपकी पिक्चर नंबर 1. Okay, Thorndike kept the cat into the cage. Okay, so when fish was placed near the cage, तो then cat started. ये second है इसका. The cat started hitting the head into the bar and scratching all the things. And when the cat was doing different kind of a action, then accidentally cat press the lever. This is the third action. Press the lever accidentally. Why? It happened accidentally. And you know what happened? When cat pressed the lever, so then door opened, cat came out of the cage and got the reward. Okay, you got it? अब देखो क्या होता है, what happened? Thorndike did the same experiment once again. Okay, the same experiment second time. Okay, he kept the cat into the cage. The cat was hungry. After some hours, a food was placed inside the puzzle box. The smell of the fish worked as a strong motivation for the cat to come out of the cage. The cat started scratching, hitting at the bar, and ultimately, pressed the lever and came out of the cage and came out of the puzzle box and got the reward. And third time, same actions repeated for third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. So, when was Thorndike was doing, every time Thorndike was writing how many times taken by the cat to come out of the cage. So Thorndike noticed that, for example, on the eighth experiment or the ninth experiment, okay, the moment Thorndike put the cat into the cage, what the cat did, that cat, press the lever on the spot, immediately, press the lever, came out of the cage and got the reward. Okay, for example, the first time cat took, for example, 20 minutes. Okay, when she started, scratching and, hitting the head. Okay, when the fish was placed. Another time cat took 15 minutes. Third time cat took 10 minutes. Now, on the seventh, eighth, ninth experiment, cat takes within a second, press the lever, came out of the cage and got the reward. It means the cat was trained. Okay. So similarly, यहीं से क्या हुआ? What happened? From that way, Thorndike developed his, theory of learning, which is called the, trial and error theory of a learning. ये देखें ना, according to the Thorndike, learning takes place through trial and error method. Okay, the cat, did lot of try and errors. He conducted many experiments. Then he concluded that everything we learn by making mistakes and errors. Okay, if we begin to learn anything, there may be a many errors. तो काफी एरर्स आए ना स्टार्टिंग में, राइट, कैट के लिए. बट एज द नंबर ऑफ ए ट्रायल गोज ऑन इंक्रीजिंग, the errors go on decreasing. So ultimately, cat was trained, and within a second, he pressed the lever and came out of the cage and got her reward. Right? ये देखिए इसके अंदर what happened? What are the factors involved in trial and error? There should be motive. Up, guys, we have to learn from this experiment कि we how we should know that how the learning takes place. Naturally, बात है, student will do some mistakes. Okay, then again they will do the same thing. They will do again mistakes. But the time will come on, when you will do the, different trials. So ultimately, they will get trained according to the Thorndike. Okay. So what are the factors involved in trial and error? Number one is a motive or drive. This is the most important. There should be a motive. What was motive or derive? What was the derive for the cat to come out of the cage? Tell me. Because the cat was hunger. Okay. Means, guys, whenever you have to go for a teaching, at least first, you know, you have to arouse the appetite. Okay, means you have to you have to prepare the student for the learning. You do not have to come into the class and start giving the lecture. If you do this practice, so you are the persons who has skilled the reasoning power of the student, who has skilled the recalling power of the student. First, make the student ready to learn. Right? There should be some derive of why you are learning this lecture. Because of B.Ed, you all have to complete the B.Ed. You all have to become an effective teacher. Okay. So first, tell them, okay, show them the derive. Second is a stimulus or a goal. In the present experiment, food, fish is the stimulus. To get the food by getting out of the goal box is the goal. So guys, you have to arousing the learning power of the student. You have to stimulate the student. Okay, there are a lot of methods for stimulating, for arousing the learning power of the student, of the child. I always say, what I always say, student, child is never ever weak on this planet. Always weak is teacher. Always remember in your mind. सभी स्टूडेंट्स जीनियस होते हैं. All students are genius. Every student is genius. ओके, अगर वो कोई कम है या ज्यादा है, बिकॉज ऑफ द टीचर. Yes, research says that because of the teacher, the particular child didn't get the exposure, didn't get the good teacher in the life. That's why it is said that there should be a good mentor in the life. Every student is a genius. Okay, these all are the excuses by the teacher. Students are naughty. Students have a low level. Intelligence level is low. Student behavior is not good. Okay, student is creating confusion. Student come from a broken family. Okay, student can't learn. He is a very weak. These all are excuses. Right? These all are excuses. Every student is a genius, guys. Every student is a genius. Okay? आप उसको पढ़ाओ तो सही इस वे से. Okay? मतलब टीचर don't have any motive, don't have any drive, don't have any stimulation. Okay? Doesn't know about the different methods of how the learning takes place. What are the levels of teaching, right? So they don't know the teaching methodology, and they become teacher and start teaching and boasting that they are a very good teacher, only knowing only English one skill. Okay, देखो टीचर कौन होता है, अंडरस्टैंड करो. लास्ट भी मैंने आपको समझाया था, राइट? टीचर कौन है एक्चुअली? वेयर इज द कंफ्यूजन इज दैट, okay, you ask any of the teacher whether they are the teacher of English, teacher of science, mathematics, geography, mathematics, any of the teacher. Ask from the teacher. Every teacher will say that I'm very good. I'm perfect in my subject. Fusion is that the teacher is perfect in the content knowledge. Okay, we agree that teacher is expert in a particular field. But guys, in a class, you have to teach to the student. You have to transfer that knowledge which is in the mind of the teacher. Okay, that knowledge teacher has to transfer into the mind of the student. And this is called the pedagogy. Okay. कोई भी टीचर को इफ टीचर डजेंट नो हाउ टू ट्रांसफर द नॉलेज ही कैनॉट कॉल एज ए गुड टीचर इवन चीटर कह सकते हो आप उसको ठीक है तो प्रॉब्लम इज दैट ओके बिकॉज एवरी टीचर वो ही थिंक्स दैट आई हैव ए मास्टर इन द इंग्लिश I have mastered in mathematics. I have mastered in geography, history, political science. अरे उससे क्या लेना देना अब now you are a teacher. Okay, basically that knowledge you have to transfer into the mind of the student. This is the reason, guys. If you have got a very good marks, even you have cleared your BA, BSc, BCom, BTech, MA, MSc, MCom, MTech with a marks, for example, with a 95% marks, might be other person have got only the 40% marks or 45% marks. He can be a good teacher because he knows how to transfer the knowledge. But a person has got the 95% marks, doesn't know how he has to transfer the knowledge. Transferring the knowledge is called the pedagogy. What is called pedagogy? Pedagogy means teaching, the style of teaching, how you have to deliver the knowledge. Pedagogy includes the sound knowledge, thoroughly knowledge of the philosophy, thoroughly knowledge of the psychology, thoroughly knowledge of the teaching learning process, okay, which is in your syllabus. The paper one, childhood and growing up, this is all about, talks about the psychology. Second paper talks about the education. Third paper talks about the learning and teaching. So you all have the knowledge of a teaching methodology. Only then you can become a very good teacher. This is the reason new education policy has mandatory the B.Ed and M.Ed. And the new education policy has started inspecting the schools also. If any of the teacher found non-B.Ed or non-M.Ed in the school, they immediately, cancel the registration process, affiliation process of the schools. Okay. You also learn in the newspapers. Okay. Because you do not know the method. You do not have done any kind of a education course, right? And you start teaching to the student. This is the reason, result comes very bad. Okay. So guys, you have to keep in the mind, students are always genius. Okay. The problem is in the teacher. Might be the problem is in the teaching methodology. Might be they don't have, might be teacher lacks the teaching methodology. Teacher doesn't know the different kind of a method, the behavior problem. So all the problems you will find in these course. Okay. When we go further, right? Responses, block, random movement, chance success, selection, fixation. So these all the factors involved in this, experiment done by the Thorndike, right, guys? Up from that experiments, we have drawn the 3 laws. ये 3 लॉज हमें लर्न करने हैं ठीक है ये सारे पॉइंट्स है ना इन लॉज के अंदर ही आ जाते हैं ओके 3 लॉज ऑफ लर्निंग कौन से लॉज हैं नंबर फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ रेडीनेस सेकेंड इज लॉ ऑफ एक्सरसाइज थर्ड इज लॉ ऑफ इफेक्ट 3 लॉज ओके यू हैव टू रिमेंबर मतलब आपको इसको क्रैम नहीं करना याद रखना ओके यू डोंट हैव टू मग अप एंड राइट इन द बीएड एग्जाम्स बीएड एग्जाम्स में कोई भी फेल नहीं होता बीएड एग्जाम में पास ही हो जाता है फ्रॉम माय लेक्चर गाइस यू हैव टू टेक द नॉलेज you have to treat yourself you are not only the student you are the student teacher in a B.Ed you are the B.Ed trainees B.Ed M.Ed trainees B.Ed trainees M.Ed trainees is called the pupil teacher PT pupil teacher and who gives training to the pupil teacher is called the trainer or educator I'm your basically teacher educator okay I'm your teacher trainer okay means I don't have to mug up some of the knowledge and put in your mind This is not my work. My work is that I have to train you. This is all the material, and after that, you should be able to give the lecture the same way I'm giving to you. Okay? Because I have to make perfect your teaching. Right? So these three laws, so whenever you have to learn any of the topic, learn as teacher. Ki you are a teacher, okay, you have to teach in that way. So these are the three laws. Law of readiness. So this law says that whenever you have to enter into the class, you have to make ready to the students. Right? वो देखो क्या लिखा है? Readiness means a preparation of action. It is also called law of action tendency. According to this law, when we are ready to learn, we learn more quickly, effectively, and with greater satisfaction than when we are not ready to learn. Please tell me, guys, all of you, when you go into the class, have you checked the readiness level of the student? Have you checked ever the readiness level of the student? Whether the student wants to learn or not? Because ये देखो theory कहती है हमें, क्या कहती है theory? When the students are ready to learn, they learn more quickly, effectively, with greater satisfaction than they are not ready to learn. अब कहां पे गई आप टीचिंग बताइए? अरे टीचिंग टेंट नॉलेज इज a different thing, guys. First understand the student first. First understand the psychological level of the student. First understand the learning pattern. First understand the teaching patterns. Okay. Then after that you will become a teacher. Okay. And what you are thinking that you are good in maths, English, science, social study, and you think yourself you are a good teacher. This is a merely a content knowledge. Merely a content knowledge, nothing else. Anybody can cover within a 1 or 2 months. Okay. Any kind of a subject. He can get the mastery within a 1 or 2 months or 3 months. Okay. But from where the pedagogy comes, for the pedagogy, you have to undergo through these all the teaching methodology course and under a good mentor. Yes, this is important. याद रखना वो mentor भी better होना चाहिए. Okay. Second, a law of exercise, also called the law of practice. So this law says that this makes a man perfect. Law of exercise states that organism learns as a result of repeated trials, practice, and exercise. Right? We all are organism, ना चाहे animals हैं, males हैं, चाहे right? बिकॉज हमारे अंदर वी हैव द डिस्क्रिमिनेशन पावर, उनसे ज्यादा पावर्स होती है. तो जितने भी एक्सपेरिमेंट है दे आर फर्स्ट conducted by on the animals, and after that they derive the theory. Right, guys? Third is law of effect, also called the law of pleasure and pain. This law is also called the law of pleasure and pain, or satisfaction or annoyance. Every activity has its effect tone. Some activities end in a satisfaction, pleasure, and others ends in a pain. Naturally, when you are learning, some activities you will learn with enjoy, with pleasure. Some activity results in a pain, but you have to learn in that way according to the Thorndike. Okay. Last, we discussed the educational implications of this theory, trial and error theory of learning. Number first, ये देखो ये important है. This is the most important. And whenever the question comes, and always question comes, okay, this, right? So you have to give more pages. You have to fill more pages by writing more and more educational implications. Okay. So the first is readiness is the preparation for action. Readiness. देखो, this is the important. First, make the student ready. उनको रेडी बनाओ, उनको कुछ ना कुछ एक्टिविटीज देते जाओ उनको. Right? Means they should be appetite for the knowledge. The next time they should be very curious to listen you. Readiness is the preparation for action. Second is, it is very essential for the teacher to see that the child is ready to learn more quickly, effectively, and with greater satisfaction when he is ready to learn. Next is, the teacher should also make an attempt to motivate the student by arousing their attention, interest, and curiosity. Guys, if you don't have this art, okay, to motivate, to arouse the attention, to arouse the interest, okay, to develop the curiosity among the teacher, you are not a good teacher. Okay, you are not a good teacher at all. All right. So first of all, you should have this thing. Okay. Later on, the content knowledge will come. Okay. Means you don't have to mug up few of the things put into the mind of the student and claim that you are a very effective teacher. Next, the law of effect emphasizes the role of a reward and punishment. Right? Practice leads a man towards maturity. Practice now, because the cat did lot of practice. After so many practice, after the practice of a seventh, eighth, or ninth, tenth time, cat was trained fully. Okay, how to open the how to press the lever and come out of the cage. Habits are formed as a result of repetition. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है repetition, revision. The teacher can improve his teaching method making use of this theory. This is for you. This is the reason. वो देखो. The teacher can improve his teaching method making use of this theory. So what you have learned from this theory? Okay, you don't have to go directly into the class and start teaching to the student. First, make the student ready. Okay, you have to teach according to the level of the student. You have to arouse the interest level, attention level, curiosity level among the teacher. Okay, and practice leads a man towards maturity. So these are all the things we have learned from this method, because many student learns by making mistakes, right guys? So this was your all about your first theory. This is called the trial and error theory of a learning. Now we will discuss the second theory, which was given by the Pavlov. Okay.